Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. I am HorrorBoy465, aka Nate Murphy, the Explorer of Horror here, and welcome back to some more videos, and welcome to a vlog talking about a couple of things here. First of all, I want to discuss the new Blair Witch movie, because ironically, it's coming out, and as you guys know, I made a fan film in the past, and it wasn't, I'll be honest guys, it wasn't really that good, but decided to make a video about that because I thought it was, well, and that, and also, I mean, it looks pretty good, so I want to give my thoughts on that real fast. I wanted to discuss WWE 2K17, what I think should be fixed, what I think should be happening, what I think the game should be, some expectations and some, just things that I hope are going to be in the game that, I would really, really enjoy being in the game. And also I wanted to talk about John Carpenter being involved in the new Halloween movie. Yes, John Carpenter is returning to the Halloween franchise, and I'm very excited for it. And also I just want to talk about just what I think about a new Halloween movie in general. Now, the first thing I want to talk about real fast is WWE 2K17. Now, WWE 2K17, of course, the cover superstar is Brock Lesnar. And I I'm cool with Brock being on the front cover. It definitely was not what I expected. It was like last year's cover. Everybody thought it was going to be like Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or something like that. I really thought it was going to be Seth Rollins, but ended up being Stone Cold, and I was like, oh crap. This year, I'm fine with Brock Lesnar being the cover superstar, but I don't know, maybe for me, who I would have wanted was either Seth, AJ, Dean, or anybody else who's doing really big right now. I know that Brock Lesnar got a lot of good stuff in 2016 and 15, but I was really expecting it to be AJ or Seth, or because I know that AJ is very early into his career, but that would have been awesome if he was the front cover, if he was the cover superstar. I would have wanted Seth or Dean on the cover a little bit more, but with Brock being the front cover, I'm fine with it, I also thought that Bill Goldberg was going to be in the front cover, but ended up not being, so I was surprised by that. So yeah, I thought that Goldberg was going to be in the front cover, but, he wasn't the cover superstar, and I was very surprised by that as well. And, of course, very little stuff has been released about it yet. There's still a lot of stuff floating around about the new wrestling WWE game. And of course, last year I talked about 2K16, and this year talking about 2K17. Now, if you guys are wondering when I'm going to do when me and Colton are going to do the wrestling, we're going to do that same style, like an audio review of Battleground. That'll be uploaded tomorrow. I might upload this tonight. I'm not sure if I have enough time to upload this tonight, because I gotta do the editing and stuff like that. But if you guys are wondering when we're gonna do the review on Battleground, that'll be tomorrow. And also, oh yeah, also the reason this isn't a video because I just wanted to make it a little bit different. I wanted to, do some sort of different, do a different sort of video, and just make this sort of like a different, style of doing a vlog, because I've done a lot of my vlogs in video style. I want to make this sort of, a different kind of vlog. But WWE 2K17, I think that, what needs to be fixed in the game is, the fact that we had some superstars in previous games, such as 15 and 16, which when they went next gen, the graphics were amazing. PS4 really made, and also Xbox One made the graphics amazing. But the thing is, though, is that some superstars looked really, really awesome in the game. They had some really great graphics in it. On some of this, well, I would say 16 had most of the superstars had some really good graphics. But the thing is, you'll still get those couple of superstars that are still kind of rocky. They don't really have a lot of detail to them. I mean, they do, but it kind of looks like last gen a little bit. Superstars such as Chris Jericho. I remember him not really looking like they did the face scan thing on him. And just a lot of superstars in general. I can't remember them all, but, they're just certain superstars on 16 and 15 that you can just tell that just don't have like the next gen touches to them, or if they do, they're not using the face scan, which I do get. It takes a lot of time to do that. But I would just say though, like, to put a little bit more detail in there, because especially Chris Jericho, even the long-haired retro version of Chris Jericho looked awful. Literally, it looks like they took the same model of the modern Chris Jericho and pretty much just put hair. Really, they put long hair on him and just put different attire, and that's it. It doesn't look any different. So you had a couple superstars look really bad. As far as from compared to other superstars, like I know John Cena, Triple H, Finn Balor, they all got the face scan. But I'm not sure if I know for a fact Chris Jericho didn't, because it just doesn't look like Chris Jericho that much. But so yeah, just a minor little problem there. Also, I was thinking maybe we should have a couple more modes on there. I would really like it if they would have WWE custom story mode back. I love that mode. I wish they wouldn't have took it away, but unfortunately they did. So nothing we can do about it. But I would really appreciate it if they bring that back, because I love that mode. I love the idea that you can make sort of your own story. It's definitely a very cool idea. And so yeah, I mean, hopefully they bring back the WWE custom story mode, and maybe a couple more just different match types. I know that 16 had more than 15. 15 was awful. I played the PS4 version of WWE 2K15. I've also played the last gen. Granted, the PS4 version isn't as bad as the last gen version, but it's still bad. I mean, you look at the features on 2K15, and yes, it has great graphics. The roster sucked, in my opinion. You hardly had any legends in that game. You hardly had any arenas. It felt like the story mode was okay. The 2K showcase mode, the rivalries, that was alright, but it wasn't anything like spectacular. I enjoyed the My Career mode a lot more in 16 than I did in 15. 15 was just bland. The My Career mode in 15 was just really bland. At least in 16 they gave it, more detail and stuff like that, and that's also I'm excited for, because they've already got that much detail into My Career mode. Maybe they can put like a lot more in there, so we could be getting an upgraded My Career mode. I'm excited about that. They need to put that option there to get different voices, because they choose the one voice and it sounds so cheesy and bad. Like literally, you would think of the most bland, cheesy wrestling voice. They put that as your character's voice, and it just sounds awful. But hopefully they can do some more with My Career mode. Hopefully they can actually have it to where you can actually cut promos out in the ring and talk to the audience, and superstars can come down to the ring and talk to you and go into a rivalry like that. Hopefully they do that. I do know that would take a lot of I don't know. I mean that could work possibly. But I feel like the backstage promos were pretty good, but they also do promos out in the middle of the ring. So I was just hoping they could put that little detail in there. It'd be awesome if they can do that. They need to make it to where you can have different voices, because the voices for the wrestlers that you pick or you create for that My Career mode, the voice is awful. It sounds like some cheesy, typical wrestler with no talent. He talks like this, and I'm gonna beat you, Kevin Owens. I'm gonna beat you, Sami Zayn, and I'm gonna be the champion. Like, he just sounds so awful. So hopefully they can fix that. And also, I don't know what goes on with Renee's face, or whatever goes on with Renee whenever she asks questions on there. She'll pause for like 5 seconds, and then sometimes it just glitches out, and it just takes forever for her to ask the question. I don't know what is up with that. Hopefully they can fix that as well. But My Career mode is definitely better in 2K16 than it was in 15. But I still feel like it needs more detail too. It still needs that detail. I feel like if they would add more detail to it, just a little bit more detail, then it would be, you know, fantastic. It'd be great. And the rosters aren't really a problem anymore, especially 16's game, 2K16, that had like literally one of, like probably possibly the best roster I've seen in a wrestling game. And my favorite roster used to be 2K14. And that does have a great roster. I love playing that game. But that's probably my second favorite wrestling game. And I'd say probably No Mercy is my third favorite. And then SmackDown versus Raw 2006 and 2007. But I would say this though, 2K16 so far is my favorite game, and it's got a lot of good stuff going for it. But one of the good things about that game is the roster is amazing. I gotta say that the roster is freaking amazing, and it's just mind blowing how many superstars they got in that game. That was just bravo to the people bravo to 2K, and and Havoc, I believe, was involved. I think. But bravo to them because they really did a good job with the roster in 2K16, and everybody involved in 2K16 did a good job. That game was my favorite game, my favorite wrestling game. So yeah, so it's definitely well made. But I do think there's still a couple of things need to be fixed. There's still those tiny little things that need to be fixed about the game that they can hopefully fix in the new game. There's still that occasional, whenever you're fighting a hardcore match or extreme rules match, whenever you hit somebody with a weapon, sometimes the weapon flies or moves, or and sometimes also in cutscenes mainly, the body will like twist up, and it's been a glitch that's been in wrestling games forever. But hopefully they can fix that and make it a little bit better. But there's honestly not really a lot of problems with 2K16. Also, fix the submission thing. Fix that submission, whatever the freak it's called, that submission meter. That thing is awful. Basically, you gotta move the joystick around till you find this little red area. You gotta stay there to get out of it. Or not even that. You gotta make sure you avoid this blue bar. That other thing was for stamina buildup. Whenever they grabbed around your head or something like that to build stamina. That's when you use that to get out of that move. But the submission thing is so stupid because you gotta make sure that you avoid this blue bar. And sometimes the blue bar is like huge, sometimes the blue bar is tiny, but it just depends on the damage they're done to the wrestler. And it gets really annoying because it seems like that always gets me a tap out. And I prefer the other submission systems where you just press a bunch of buttons until it lets you go. That was a lot easier. This new submission system is freaking awful to fix that. But besides that, though, I mean, the wrestling in the game was top notch. You got some really great moves, great roster, phenomenal graphics. And I can't wait for 2K17's roster because we're going to be getting a lot of new superstars in the roster. We're getting AJ Styles, Dudley Boys. We're going to be getting, we'll be getting Social Outcast, but I'm not really excited for that. We're going to be getting a lot of new superstars. I mean, we're going to be getting people from NXT like Apollo Crews, maybe Blake and Murphy, maybe Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. Hopefully they're in the game. I really enjoy their wrestling. It's going to be fun seeing all the new, attires, all the new arenas, and and all the new superstars going to be on the game. And I think there's only very little things you can fix with 2K17 because 16 was, in my opinion, a near perfect game. It still had those problems though. The occasional glitches that would happen, the occasional, especially in my career mode, they got a couple glitches in there, and hopefully they can add in that thing where you can go ahead and cut promos in the middle of the ring, or if you can just cut promos backstage and just be like, oh, I'm gonna fight this person, they just need to add more detail to it, and fix a couple of the glitches as well. There's a couple glitches in there they need to fix, but all in all, I mean, 2K16 was a near perfect game. There were just a few things that held it back, and I also like the the inclusion of, you can use the music jukebox in that game, and you can choose your superstars theme songs, and you can also use the music that's in the default music of the game. That's the thing. I did not like the music in 2K15 or 16. And 15 was worse. 16, at least you had like 21 Pilots in there. You had that one song that I can't remember right now. Um, Never Too Young to Die. Dun, 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 dun. Like that song. You got that freaking song that was in the Black Mass trailer. If you guys see the Black Mass trailer, listen to that song. I've just heard it so many times, I can't stand that song anymore. I liked it at first. I would say that I liked that song at first. But that game, I swear that must be his favorite song. He's playing it over and over again, so it got really annoying. But you know, so hopefully they can include some better songs in 17, because 16 was like, eh. I mean, you had 21 Pilots in there. You had that one song I didn't mind. Never Too Young to Die. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't mind a couple other songs, but all in all, the default music for the game was pretty bad. Not as bad as 15, because there was like maybe 2 songs I liked in 15, but still, it still does need an improvement though. But 16 is a near perfect game. I think it pretty much nailed almost everything. I think that 17 should look at those few little problems and try to fix them, and also try to make the game, to try to improve them. Like every game, try to get better and better. That's the goal. And try to make better games every year, and hopefully it'll be a good game. And I'm really excited for it. I'm always excited for new wrestling games. I was excited for 2K15, and then I played it. I'm like, this is awful. I remember when 14 came out, I played that one. Well, I think I played around when it came out, and I loved the game. I remember really enjoying the game, and it's my second favorite wrestling game of all time. I remember when 13 came out, I played that, and I thought it was pretty decent. And yeah, so I'm very excited about 2K17. I really do hope that they fix a couple problems that need to be fixed. And excuse me, guys, I'm over here burping. But hopefully they can fix those few little problems, which they're not really that big, but it just holds the game back a little bit, and it's a near perfect game, but it could have been perfect if they would have just fixed a couple things. But hey, it's a new year, it's a new game, and if they fix that, well then heck, guys, we might have the most perfect wrestling game we can get this year. And I'm really excited for the roster. Of course, I did a freaking roster reveal of 3 or 4 superstars. It was Sasha Banks, John Cena, and somebody else I can't remember. But of course, you just known that that he put that was pretty much like John Cena's like, oh well, you already know he's gonna be in the game. But Sasha Banks gonna be in there, awesome. Becky Lynch. Hopefully, they can get Bailey in there from NXT. Really excited for that. And yeah, so 2K17 looks pretty good. I can't wait for it to come out. I might make another video about it around later on, because we're still in the very early stages of it. I mean, we don't really start hearing a lot of things until about, I don't know, a month or 2 from now. That's when things started getting really big. We started getting some really big news about it, about the 2K Showcase. And there's a lot of stuff going on with the 2K Showcase. I know that some people were saying maybe it was going to be a Daniel Bryan one, maybe it was going to be a Legends one, maybe now it's going to be a Brock Lesnar one. I don't know. But I'm hoping it's going to be a good 2K Showcase. 16s was an awesome showcase. Austin 316 showcase. That was an awesome showcase. I played the whole thing. And I did unlock all the stuff, but the ones I didn't unlock, I just pretty much paid for the accelerator and got that. But it's a really good story mode, really good 2K Showcase, and I really enjoyed it. So hopefully this year can be a really good 2K Showcase. So yeah, 2K17, I'm really hoping it's going to be good, and I'm really excited for it. On to the next thing we'll talk about is Blair Witch, the new Blair Witch movie that's going to be coming out. And of course, when I watched the first commercial, and it was of course known in the past as The Woods, and I was really excited for it. Even before they even announced it as Blair Witch, I was like, all right, looks like a good movie. Reviewers saying one of the best horror movies of all time. I don't know about that. I mean, everybody was saying how The Conjuring was it was like so terrifying and so scary. But I went to go see The Conjuring. And I was like, this is just like a typical horror movie. It didn't really scare me that much. Conjuring 2 kind of scared me, a little bit. It's kind of a creepy movie, Conjuring 2. But Conjuring 1, everybody was hyping that game up, and not game, but that movie up. And everybody was saying how, oh, well, it's gonna be like it's the best horror movie of the decade, and I'm like, well, I watched it. I'm like, in my opinion, I enjoyed Sinister more. I enjoyed The Purge more. I enjoyed It Follows, You're Next, As Above, So Below, The Witch. Those are all horror movies I enjoyed more than The Conjuring 1. The Conjuring 2, I enjoyed a lot more than the first movie. Um, and I thought it was actually creepy. But of course, when The Woods came out, you got a commercial for it, and it looked pretty good from what I seen of the commercial of the what you find to be the fake title of the movie. And you would think that it would just be one of those typical horror movies that come out now, because it was just called The Woods. We had The Forest that came out, and I'm not really a big fan of it anymore. I know when I reviewed it, I said that it was barely watchable, but honestly, guys, it's a lazy horror film. And I honestly can say that I don't like The Forest anymore. But I didn't absolutely hate it, but I'm not a fan of it anymore. The Forest, it was a pretty lazy horror, and it had so much potential, but it could have been great. The Forest, it could have been a really good movie, but unfortunately, it just ended up going that cliche route that every horror film goes now. CGI, PG-13, jump scares everywhere, and it did have a good atmosphere. I'll admit that, but I thought that The Witch had a better atmosphere than The Forest. But of course, couple of I think it was last week or something. I can't remember when that Blair Witch commercial was released. But I do know that pretty much the director had announced that was a fake trailer, or not a fake trailer, but that was a fake title of the movie. And everybody's like, "What? That's a fake title?" And he said the movie is really called Blair Witch, and it's a sequel to the original movie, which I'm excited for it because I saw the trailer of it. It looks really creepy and scary, and I'm a really big. I actually can honestly say that I really enjoyed Blair Witch Project, the original movie. I know that a lot of people complain about it and say how it's awful, it's terrible, and it's lazy and stuff like that. But I enjoyed it. Thought it was really good, the original Blair Witch Project. I hate Blair Witch Project 2. People say how they hate that movie. I can agree with that. The movie freaking sucked. But yeah, I'll agree with you guys on that. Blair Witch 2, that sucks. But the original movie, I enjoy. It's not like a classic or anything like that. I don't think it's like a legendary horror film, but I think it's a pretty good horror film. It's not bad. It's definitely a creepy idea in the woods, and these kids getting, basically tortured by this, I don't know which, but they just basically go through all the creepy things in the woods. It was definitely, I can also say that Blair Witch Project is a creepy movie. I actually got creeped out by that movie. But I don't hate Blair Witch Project like everybody does. And yeah, I mean it's pretty good. It's not a classic. It's not like a absolutely amazing movie. I did think like there could have been a little bit more to it. Like what was there was great. But in the original movie, I think there could have been a little bit more going on. But still, thought it was pretty good. Original movie. I hate Blair Witch 2. All it is a low budget, stupid as heck movie that I have no idea why it was made. And it was made by a guy who made nothing but documentaries. And I'm like, okay, so you're gonna get this guy to make a movie? And I guess Artisan got involved and they changed a lot of stuff in that movie. Made it a very, different movie, I guess, than what the original, intention was. I guess the director said that they got involved and changed the movie, but I watched it. I thought it was awful. It has terrible acting, terrible, awful effects in it, and it was just a very confusing story behind it as well. But seeing the new commercial for the new movie, it looks really good. Looks like they're gonna have like a lot of like action and a lot of run around, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere to it. Actually, a horror movie with an atmosphere, and I'm a fan of Your Next. I'm a fan of that segment. I believe it was Q for Quack and the ABCs of Death, which the director of Your Next, I think it was Adam Wingard, and I believe he made Q for Quack and ABC of Death, which I enjoyed that segment. And I enjoyed You're Next. So, and I believe you also did a segment in VHS, which I'm like, oh great, like, also involved in that Ty West, and I don't like him as a director. I think Ty West is a freaking terrible director. So I hate Cabin Fever 2. I don't care. I didn't really, honestly, I thought that The Devil, or The House of the Devil, was just okay. It wasn't, like, amazing. It was just alright. Innkeepers, I don't even want to watch. I've heard bad things about it, and it looks pretty boring from what I've seen of it so far. And so yeah, I don't really care about the Innkeepers. I hate Cabin Fever 2. House of Devil was just it was okay. It wasn't anything special. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's so great, so great." Watching like this is just okay. It's not like an amazing horror film or anything. But I believe it was Adam Wingard who's the director of You're Next, and yeah, Adam Wingard. And I'm a huge fan of You're Next. He also made the Guest, or to the Guest, which I haven't seen yet. But I'll definitely give it a watch. He's made a couple movies I haven't seen though, but I did watch Your Next, and I did watch his segment in the ABC of Death. I know that he did a VHS segment, Tape 56, and then he also did VHS 2, Phase 1 Clinical Trials, and VHS 2. And I really can't remember I can't remember which segment that was, but because I really enjoyed VHS too. Like, I honestly, I watched that, and I didn't even watch the first movie. Like, I didn't watch it at all. I just thought it was just like, I was like, whatever, man, I'm not even gonna watch it. But I did think that, he did a good job in the ABC of Death. I like that segment, pretty fun segment. Your Next, I really enjoyed. But yeah, Adam Wingard is going to be directing it. I think that was a very surprising thing because he announced it. It's like, oh, well, it's Blair Witch. The Woods was just a false title. It's really a new Blair Witch movie, and of course, a new trailer was released, and I was like, what? I see the commercial. It looks like it's going to be scary, thrilling, a lot of fast and action stuff, and people like it just looks really creepy. And that scene in the trailer where they wake up and they see like all the stick figures around them in the woods was a creepy scene. The atmosphere that is going to be like really creepy. I was really impressed with the way the movie looked like it was going to be shot well and has a good atmosphere to it. Acting didn't seem that bad. The idea of sort of this guy going to go in Burgersville, Maryland, to try and find his sister, and he's going to try and find Heather from the first movie. I'm like, all right, that's a cool idea. And so I can't wait for it, honestly, guys. I think it's going to be a pretty good horror movie. Then again, though, I'm not sure about the whole critic thing, like, oh, it's the best horror movie ever. Best horror movie. I just don't, like, buy. I don't know. After The Conjuring, I was like, all right. Whenever they say that now, although I will agree with people, though, I really enjoyed The Witch. I could definitely say The Witch is like, one of my favorite horror movies of the decade. And I know a lot of people find that movie boring, but, I think it's one of those slow burn horror movies that some people get into, some people don't. I got into it, but it is a very slow burn horror film. But I really enjoyed The Witch. Thought it was well made, well shot, well acted. Really enjoyed the story behind it. Has a really good folktale sort of feeling to it. And yeah, I love The Witch. Thought it was a good movie. I think that it's going to be a good movie, Blair Witch. Hopefully it's going to be well made. I mean, it looks like it's going to be well shot, decent acting, good atmosphere. And I really do hope that this is going to be a good movie. Like I said, Adam Wingard made Your Next, and I really enjoyed that movie. So I really can't wait for Blair Witch, for the new Blair Witch movie. And it's also kind of ironic because I made a Blair Witch short film, a couple years back, like 2014 or whatever, like that. And it was awful, guys. I'll be honest. I thought I did a terrible job making that. And a couple people said that I did a good job, and I want to thank you guys for saying that and supporting that short film. But I thought I did a horrible job. I just thought it was bad acting, and I don't know. I thought I did a terrible job, but I just felt like it was kind of ironic that I made that. Now they're making a new Blair Witch movie. Kind of had to talk about this in a video. But yeah, I mean, I think the new Blair Witch movie is going to be pretty good. I hope it's going to be really good, and I can't wait. Really excited for it. And last thing we'll talk about is John Carpenter has announced that he's going to be involved in the new Halloween movie. Now, this is going to be good because the last Halloween movies he was involved in was Halloween 1 and 2, and I love those movies. I'm not sure if he was involved in 4, or was it 5? 4 and 5. I don't remember. Wasn't he like a producer or something like that for 4 and 5? I can't remember. I know he was involved in Halloween 3, which I love that movie as well. Um, but I'm not sure. Hang on, let me check on IMDb and see if he was involved in Halloween 4. I think. Hang on, guys. I gotta get on here and check real fast. I think he was an executive producer or screenplay or no. The story was by Alan B. McElroy, which I've heard about him being involved in a lot of good movies as well. But actually, I don't see his name on here. I don't think he was involved in Halloween 4. But I do know that he was involved in Halloween 1, 2, and 3, and I love all 3 of those movies. Halloween 3 doesn't have Michael Myers in it, but still, the Halloween movies that John Carpenter was involved in, I love all 3 of those movies. I love Halloween 1; it's an absolute classic. Halloween 2 is a classic sequel, and Halloween 3 is a classic as well. I think it's a classic movie. I think it's a very underrated movie. I love Halloween 3. But I'm very excited about this as well because John Carpenter coming back and getting involved in Halloween again. We're going to have such a great atmosphere in this new movie. And I really do hope it's going to be really good because we're going to be getting, I hope, that old school Halloween feel, that old school Halloween style, that atmosphere, suspense. Rob Zombie's movies, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the Rob Zombie remake of the first movie. I used to think that it was just okay. That I just thought it was just decent, but anymore, I don't care for it. I'm not a fan of the Rob Zombie remake of Halloween 1. I absolutely hate the unrated version, the unrated director's cut of Halloween 1, because a lot of unnecessary stuff was in the movie that I don't think it was just like it just shouldn't have been the Halloween movie. Like he added rape in there, extended scenes in the hospital, extended scenes and just made the movie too long and boring. It was very boring, and the new scenes that were added into the movie just weren't really needed, and I absolutely hate Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That movie freaking sucked. But I cannot wait for John Carpenter. I cannot wait for the new Halloween movie to come out. I really do hope that it's going to be focusing on what Halloween was, and that was the suspense, the atmosphere, the way the movie's shot. Michael Myers being more in the shadows, and because Rob Zombie, all he did was take away from Michael Myers what made Michael Myers Michael Myers. Michael Myers was more of a I've heard people describe him sort of like more of a phantom, more in the shadows, more of just a presence. It wasn't more. And then Rob Zombie just made him just a typical slasher in Halloween, his Halloween movies. So yeah, I don't like how he did that. I hated the uncut version of Halloween 1, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. I hated Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. The original cut of Rob Zombie's Halloween, the original R-rated cut, I'm not a fan of it, I'll be honest, not a fan of it. I don't hate it as bad as I hated the uncut director's cut of Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I still think I'm not a fan of it, I still don't like it. But yeah, I mean, I really do hope that, Halloween goes back to the atmosphere and, the slow building suspense and, really good kills and getting back to the old school ways that made Halloween great. And I cannot wait for the new Halloween movie. I'm actually going to do a little bit of, reading on here and see what I can find out about the new movie. try and see if it's on IMDb yet. There is I'm gonna try and see if it's on IMDb. I don't think they have it on IMDb right now. I might have to look up on Wikipedia. Alright, there we go. But I just really hope that they go back to what made Halloween great, and that was, and John Carpenter, I really do hope that he uses that awesome score that he's used in so many of his movies. I just love John Carpenter's scores to his movies. The Fog, The Fiend, Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Big Trouble with China. I love all those scores, and I really do hope the new movie has a really good score. I'm not really a big fan of, the new score, or the score in Rob Zombie's films. I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan of that score. It's basically more of like a rundown, Halloween theme. I'm gonna try and see if it's on here. I'm not sure. Might have to do a little bit of looking on here, but okay. So it was announced on June 15, 2015, that the Weinstein Company was moving ahead with the Halloween sequel. Basically, they are involved in the new Halloween, and they are making it. Hopefully, they are. It says, yeah, it's still in production. John Carpenter is on the project. Gonna be a producer. This is a quote by John Carpenter. 38 years after the original Halloween, I'm gonna help to try and make the 10th sequel the scariest of them all. So I really do hope this is gonna be great, guys. Like, I really do think this is gonna be a great sequel, or reboot, whatever it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a sequel, but I can't wait, guys. I'm very excited for it, and yeah, hopefully it's gonna be good. I mean, you got John Carpenter involved. Hopefully we can get a good atmosphere, suspense. Michael Myers having more of a presence to him, having more of him just being sort of this evil figure, and going back to being the Shape. And I just can't wait, guys. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, so John Carpenter involved in new Halloween. That's awesome. I can't wait. And I also am really interested in the new Halloween movie, Halloween Returns. I cannot wait. It's going to be great, hopefully. I really am hoping that's going to be, done well, and, and John Carpenter's involved. So pretty much I'm really excited for Halloween Returns. I can't wait. And, yeah, so that's pretty much everything I want to talk about in this vlog, guys. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this vlog, and